Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Those of you who were at the event this past weekend, and for those of you who are on here to listen to, oh my gosh, I'm just going to tell you, I am so sorry for those of you who did not get to go because it was in all of the events that I've attended, it was the best event that they've ever had. And not just because I won this big award, because I did, but because they had like the topics that they had and how raw and real people were and how it was so applicable to our business and how they talked about, real life stuff. And I just thought it was put together so well. And I'm excited to bring you guys some people to hear their point of view, to talk about, to listen to what they got out of it. So I'm going to, since Hillary's going to a ball game and she's in the car, I'm going to go ahead and let her start us off. It's going to be about 3 minutes apiece, just to give you, everybody's got a topic, so nobody should be overlapping, but just to let you hear from other people how amazing their weekend was. So I'm going to turn it over to Hillary first.
Hey guys, we're heading home from a ball game right now. I'm on my dirt road, so this isn't super dangerous, but anyways, I agree 100% with everything Melissa said. This, I've only been to I think 4 events now, 2 virtual, and then the last 2 were live in person conferences like Xyngfling, Xyngfest, and that first one that I went to, man, I cried and laughed so hard I cried, and it was very emotional and everything, and they've all been great. The energy is indescribable. It's palpable. You can literally feel it. You get so pumped up and excited. But this one here, that's just it. The rawness and the things that people were talking about, that sometimes, like, they would be up on stage and they'd say something. I'd be like, dang, did she just say that? Like, she just said what everybody is thinking and nobody wants to say, And so it made you feel more valuable. And I had the word, but then I lost it because somebody's whispering mama in the back. But it just made you feel validated. That's it. Like, validated, because what you're doing, all of these steps that everybody's doing, these IPAs, the reaching out, talking to people, what you're doing is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. As long as you're leading with your heart and you're actually being consistent, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to be perfect in the business. It's okay not to be perfect in life, in your 8-day jump starts and your wellness plan, because that's the beautiful thing, is that everything, this culture, this community, they accept you for who you are. They accept you for, I'm feeding my kids pizza going down the driveway because, baseball. But anyways, they accept you for who you are and all of your flaws and your strengths included. And I thought that we've had so many events that talk about your strengths and everything. And so, but they also celebrate your flaws, because we work together as a team to uplift everybody and help support those weaknesses and let the strengths shine and everything. But I think the biggest thing that I wanted to go over, and I'm sorry if I'm going close to 3 minutes, but the biggest thing that I wanted to go over was that raw, honest truth. The stuff that hits you where it hurts. The stuff where, like, Brittany Oblander got up there and was talking about some really deep down personal stuff, and it's, I know some might have been like, oh, well, she even said it herself. talking about airing dirty laundry. It's not airing dirty laundry if it's going to help somebody. You know, this is something that she struggles with daily, and she put herself out there and on that stage in front of thousands of people and shared a story that related to so many people. It made us feel real. Like, I mean, if she's up there doing that, doing this business and all the crap and that she has been through, and she has been successful and she's gotten through it, and she's gotten through it because of this family that we have and because of events like this and this singular culture. But you know, she gave us something that everybody could relate to. Tabby was sitting there next to me and she was like, oh my gosh, that reminded me so much of this, that, and the other. And I related it too. You know, Tabby and I've had such a different background growing up and everything, but it's crazy how whenever these stories get that raw and personal, that everybody can relate to some aspect or another in it. And that authenticity is so important. And you know, she challenged us in one of our groups today, I think, about posting things that aren't perfect. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to think things through and have the perfect script with the perfect pretty picture with all your makeup done and your house straight as can be and everything. People don't care about that. That's intimidating whenever people are perfect, you know? And so this authenticity is what is necessary for you to get down on a deep personal relationship with your customers, with your distributors, showing them your strengths and your flaws and being honest about it and being authentic, because that's what's going to get into people's hearts. And we're not selling kits and we're not selling a business. We are selling ourselves, and we are selling this company and this culture, and it is absolutely incredible. And so by goodness, if I'm going to lose people over just putting up my highlight reels on on Facebook and social media, just posting the good stuff, people feel so much better whenever you post that raw, real bad stuff too, because then they realize you don't have to be perfect. It's okay. And we're not perfect either. So be honest about it. And that's what I think, that's the biggest thing that I got out of Xyngfling. And I mean, it was incredible. Blew me away. Don't miss the next one. I'm so excited.
I know. I agree with her. It was I was floored with some of the things that people opened up and talked about. It's the stuff that most people don't want to, and it's the stuff that brings hurt to people because they have to, you know, because you have this certain facade about you, and you don't want people to look at you in a different light. And when you air the dirty laundry and you talk about being in an abusive marriage, and you talk about, you know, not being perfect and having anxiety and all the things that people look at you in one way, and when you're real and raw like that, it's hard. It's really hard for the person speaking, and I really appreciate that. And Hillary, I got a lot out of that too. So I can't recap everything and everybody says, so we're gonna have to go because we only got a little while, but there's so much. And I'm with you on that one. I'm just gonna go in order. Teresa, I'm gonna let you go next.
I don't know if I got as much power as Hillary had on theirs, but it was wonderful. I enjoyed it so much more than Fest. Fest was good, but this one really touched my heart more, and I really enjoyed it. My topic is love language. Apparently there is a guy named Gary Chapman, I think it was, that wrote the book called Love Languages, and there's supposed to be 5 different ones. And it's basically talking about your love language with your mate, but it was brought up that it can mean more towards what we're doing as a business. That says different people with different personalities give and receive love in different ways. And the 5 different ones are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. And it was listed on there that with words of affirmation, shout outs and recognition, which, you know, I know we do a lot of that on the X-Team leaders, which is really good in our own personal groups. Acts of service, helping a team member with a task, whatever it might be so much as doing the vision calls. that would be an act of service. Providing tips, tricks, and sharing resources. We all seem to do that. We find something, whether it be someone like Priscilla Shire, like sharing something about that's going to touch us all and reach our hearts. That would be something as well. Something that might help us to grow our business, some trick that we're doing. Focus 40 is a good one to list there, because that was definitely something that's going to help us all with that. Quality time, giving your undivided attention when someone is trying to talk to you. Don't let your mind wander. And sometimes I have trouble with that, because I'm not really a squiggle, but I have squirrel moments occasionally where my mind will wander with what's going on. So focusing on who you're speaking with. Physical touch, a hug goes a long way. It does for me anyway. So that's where I would say with the physical touch. But that's about all I've got.
So that's fantastic. And I've actually got a link that we can all take that quiz to find out what our love language is. And I will post that in the leaders page. And I think it'd be interesting to do that. And I would love for everyone to send that to me when you get it done, because I want to see the differences in our group and see what everybody's is. So I will post that on there. I forgot to do that. So thank you, Teresa. Yes. Desiree got outside her comfort zone at this meeting this past weekend, and I'm so proud of her.
I have been trying to do it more than just this weekend. Sorry, I'm giving my daughter her medicine. Tony, can you do that? Can you be quiet? Okay. Overcoming fears. Helping identify your fears. Write them on sticky notes. Make sure that they are. Then make a small goal on how to overcome that specific fear. I was going to Staples today, and then I've just felt horrible. My dog's been sick for about a day, and then she started throwing up. So today was my day. I don't know what's going on, but that's been my day today. So I'm going to get sticky notes tomorrow, and my house is going to be very colorful, and we're going to have sticky notes, and I'm going to get a whiteboard, and I'm going to get some markers that I can write on my mirrors. I'm going to get some markers I can write on my refrigerator. We're going to have whys. We're going to have vision posts. We're going to have our vision boards. We're going to have my fears. Like we in this. Recognize the excuses. I probably have more excuses than anybody in this world. And I know that I do. And I try to write down my excuse. So when I do reach something in fear, I look at my excuses and I'm like, I can't use that one. I can't use that one. And so if I get to the bottom of it, I just have to do it, because I'm tired of using the same excuses that I've used my entire life. So list your fears, then what excuses you have for that fear, and then write what are you gonna do to overcome that fear, so you stop using the excuses and you bypass the excuses to get to the fear and overcome the fear. Surround yourself with success, and I say successful people. It's always good to have a team that you call your family, and that builds you up in more times than you would ever know. And the biggest thing for me is accept that I will fail. I know I'm gonna get no's. I am 44 years old, and when I tell you, there's one man in my life that I've never been told no from him, and that's my uncle. I worked for him for 26 years, but I've never asked him for anything that was just craziness. And I think, like, knowing I've never been, I don't ask for a lot or for a lot from people, and so I'm not used to the word no, and that's dogs jumping in my lap. But that's just I've got to know that I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not perfect. And when somebody says no, it may be no today, it may be no in a year, but they may be a yes, in a year and a half. So it's just, but yeah, overcoming fears. And I chose that because I'm probably the most one out of anybody that is fear. I fear everything. I do. I fear everything.
No,
So
you
it's
don't.
gonna be a slow process.
You do not fear.
I do not fear everything.
I do not fear. Speak life.
I do
into
not fear. I am
Right.
overcoming my fears.
That's right. Amen. Yes. Because what I am is
I'm worthy.
I am worthy. I am
I
fearless.
am enough.
Yes. Woo! Love it. All right, let's go to Sydney.
Hi,
Feeling better?
friends.
Feeling better, honey?
Yeah, it was me not taking my anxiety medicine. Okay, so I chose to talk about the square and the triangle and the squiggle and the circle. And I actually just sent y'all 2 links in the messenger thing of something that I found. But I liked how she talked about this because the whole theme of Xyngfling was being yourself and being the power of you and using yourself to make your business better. And I learned so much more about myself. And I know you should probably know everything about yourself, but I really didn't until she said, "You're a square." And I realized how I've been like messaging people or getting people is not the way that they needed it. It was the way that I knew how to do it, but it wasn't what they needed. And everybody has their different personality. And I like how she pointed out, that not everybody's the same. And so while we have boards and boards is great, you have to make it, match your people. It is a cookie cutting business, but it's a different cookie cutters we got to use. To get our people. And I liked how she gave us some good personality traits about ourselves, but she also gave us some bad personality traits, and we have to really look at those. And like if we're, one of those that want to be on time and stuff, we have to make sure that we're on time. If we, are trying to get people and we're not doing our best of ourselves, then what makes them think that they're going to do the best for themselves? So that is what I liked about Xyngfling. I loved learning about myself and everybody hearing my crazy Georgia accent. But that is what I took away was being a better of myself, being a better version of myself so that I can help others be a better version of themselves.
I love that. And I love how she did go into it. And even though we're one personality, speaking to other personalities, you have to do it differently.
Mhm.
And that was very interesting to me too. And I bet y'all would never guess that I'm a squiggle. In a million years, you wouldn't guess that. And I was surprised to see Sydney was a square, though. I wouldn't have guessed that with her because of her big personality and how she loves people. But I can see with being a teacher, I can see how you are too. So, and I think it was so neat when she was describing them, how I could see a little bit of myself in every single one. I could pick things, but the big picture, if I had to just pick one, then that would be the one that I would pick. So, but it was very interesting how she broke those down. Let me go to Tabby. Thank you, Sydney.
Hey guys. Okay, so everybody's kind of touched a little bit on everything that's kind of stood out. Again, the transparency, being very relatable, hitting you right in the heart. I love that. I love how they also emphasized on self-development, just bringing some more self-awareness to who you are, and your strengths and stuff like that with the whole circle and squiggly line. I love to dabble into like personalities to get to better know myself. I'm all about self-development, and I had never heard of the square, the circle, and the swiggle. So that one was interesting, but I really do love how they really did touch base on personal development, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it and the line of work that we do, we are leaders. We're leaders anywhere. If you have a family, you're a leader, at work, you're a leader, but just, I forgot what I was totally saying because my kid is over there just like waving me down. But I just loved it. Like at the end of the day, leadership, pouring into yourself to pour into others. You know, you cannot give what you do not have. So I'm all about personal development. So I love that. I love how they touched on that. And they did it also with the whole, the transparency of their, their stories and telling their stories on stage and all the things. So I loved it because that's also personal development. It's when you're able to put your guard down and to tell your truths, tell your story and share it. That to me is what really stood out. And this was my second live event. And the first one was like super exciting, but this one, and not that it wasn't as exciting because the hype was there, the energy was there, but I felt more comfortable, more like home. And this is my family and these are my people. And it's just amazing. Just like Hillary was saying, the energy is indescribable. And honestly, it's something that you just have to feel. So you do not want to miss the next event. You want to be there because it is seriously so life-changing, so eye-opening. And there's just to see how everybody is, to me, that's the biggest thing. I'm a people person. So I love how everybody is so humble, how everybody will stop what they're doing to talk to you. You want to take a picture with them. They'll even ask you how you're doing. They just pour into you and they love you. And I'm all about that. So I really love how it's not just community, it is family and just feeling that feeling of home. So you do not want to miss it. Trust me, it will change your life. You have to go to the next one. So those were what stood out to me the most. And I loved it.
I love it so much. And yes, becoming a better you, that is power of you, right? That's what
the whole power of you, the theme of the power of you. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. Tony Edwards. Thanks, Tab.
Well, this is my second fest. The first one we didn't do so hot afterwards, but we jumped back on board on this one. And my biggest takeaway from Xyngfest was unity. Fling, sorry. I get those two confused. But anyway, so unity is what drives the company. I don't know if anybody noticed that or if it was your takeaway too. There's power in unity. Everybody in the company, yes, there may be this little team here and that little team there. If we strive to be united as one and one common goal, stronger, better together, the company will succeed. When the company succeeds, we will succeed as independent distributors. Goes back to what Melissa said, 1% better. If you do 1% daily to be better, the company's going to be better because we're going to be united. A lot of stuff. I mean, I got notes for days, just sitting, thinking, reflecting on it. The one thing that any person said during the whole event was I had actually talked to Steve Parrish. And I'm real bad about this, and I don't know if anybody else is. And when he said this phrase, it kind of took me back to my mentality. He said, you will never succeed as long as you have a poverty mentality. He said, your business will not succeed. You will not succeed in life. He said, when you get out of the poverty mentality, you will thrive. Your business will thrive. And I'm like, I was standing there just in amazement at how much that hit home to me. So that's all I've got.
Yeah, and that goes back to the only limits that are put on you are the ones that you put on yourself. Because like, and I say it all the time, like I preach all the time about getting out of your own way and getting out of your own mindset, because we feel like so many times we don't feel deserving of the big things. We put ourselves in a box like, okay, if I can just get to, goal manager, man, that'd be great. But instead of that, why not say, dang, if I can just get to gold executive? Why do we put limits on ourselves? Why do we not strive for greatness? Why do we have that poverty mentality that we're not worth more than, the smaller ranks? Why not say we want to be the rainbow ambassadors? I love that he said that, because that's the struggle with so many people. And every people I talk to, I have people that talk to me. I had a call a couple of days ago with a girl, and it was just like she had so many things. And if you're, I'm not going to say your name, so if you're watching, I love you so much and thank you for being real and honest with me. But it was just like she did not feel worthy of it. She did not feel, and I remember feeling like that. I remember when my business started going down and going through those valleys and wasn't growing and people quit and all these things. I blamed me. What am I doing wrong? Why can't I be like her? Why I'm working just as hard as her? Why is my business? And that comparison and feeling like, I guess I'm not as good as her, or I guess I'm not as worthy as her. I had that poverty mentality, and I had to get out of my own way. And even though my points are not there yet, I got to a point in my business where I said, screw it. I am going to the top. I'm going to go ahead and act like I'm there. And I do the things now that the big leaders do, and my points will catch up. And if they don't, if it takes another 5 years for them to catch up, then it takes 5 years for them to catch up, but they will, because I believe it. And I'm not limiting what I can do. I love that. I didn't know he said that. But gosh, it's just, that's the struggle. That right there is the struggle with so many people, is there's no limits. There's no cap, but we put limits on ourselves, which keeps us in a place where we can't get the big things, where we can't go and see our dreams to fruition, because we don't allow ourselves to think that big or go that big or do the big things. Does that make sense to everybody? It's crazy. Go ahead. I see you. Go ahead.
I'm going to actually tell you exactly what he said. I've got it written down. He said, if you want to go to the top, you have to get out of the poverty mentality.
Mm-hmm. And that's true.
And it was like a ton of bricks hit me when he said that. And I thought, he's talking to me.
Yeah. And exactly what that means is, thinking small. Thinking small. That's the poverty mentality, is thinking way down here when way up here is available for us. That's the poverty mentality. I've never heard it put like that. But man, that'll preach right there, because it's all up here. Every bit of it is up here. Our self-doubt, our self-confidence, our self-loathe, our just here. All this up in here, all the lies that we tell ourselves about, everybody else is better than us, and everybody else can do this, and, I can't do this, and all the lies right here. So that personal development, working on yourself, working on getting out of your own way, working on that, growing your self-confidence and growing yourself as a leader, and the believability, believing in yourself that you are worthy of it, that you are deserving of it. That's like half the battle. Everything else is easy. You get to that point where you grow yourself and you grow that belief in what you can do, and quit putting limits on this, because nobody else is putting limits on you except for you. So dang, that's good. Lord, I might start hacking. I'm just saying. Oh, me. Well, gosh, there was some other people that had other things. Everybody picked topics, and I wish everybody had gotten on here. And Rhonda had a death in her family, and so y'all remember to pray for them. And then Vicky's at games, and I think Kendra's at work, and I'm not sure where everybody else is, but just what we hit on tonight, it's all good stuff. And there's so much more out there. There's Vicky. I didn't think she was gonna make it on, but she's actually at the ball game. That's commitment right there. I'm just gonna tell you, look at her. She's jumped on at the ball game. So, but I love what everybody said. I love, the takeaways. I love the, just the differences that everybody had of what you can hear the same thing, and you can have 3 different takeaways from the same thing. And I think that's what happened. It all hit them in the feels, and everybody took what they needed from each person that spoke. And I just thought it was fantastic. Anybody got any last final thoughts before we end it?
So I was supposed to tell you this a while ago. I'm a circle, but my wife said I was a square. Does that sound familiar?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't believe you're square. Anybody
I
else?
actually told that story to somebody tonight. Turns out she was a squiggle, and we went through the whole thing. And I told her how they called me up there, and before that, they called a man up on stage. And when she said, "How do you know you're square?" And he said, "My wife told me," and she thought that was funny too. But
It was hilarious. Vicky, I saw you unmute.
Yes, I unmuted because I didn't get my shot.
Oh,
and
go
my
ahead.
topic was you. So we got to talk about you. Has anybody talked about you yet?
No.
No. Well, good, because that's my topic. And yeah, I don't know who else. Is anybody on here that wasn't there?
Bambi and Sharon, and we're recording it.
Oh, good. Well, y'all, it was just so exciting, and the honor and the pride that we all felt with Melissa winning the top award. We all know she's the top leader, but now everybody knows she's the top leader, which I don't think there was anybody surprised in the whole building when they called her name except her. And she could have fell out on the floor. She had no idea. And it was just incredible and so deserving. And we are so lucky to have you leading us day in and day out. And it's just so powerful. But y'all, I just cannot even explain the feeling of watching corporate staff on stage crying, her husband crying, her sister crying, all of us crying, her team, and people that probably didn't even know her. I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. If there was, there wasn't many. And it was just phenomenal. And like I said, just so deserving, because she gives and she gives and she gives when people aren't watching. I got to spend the last 2 weeks with her. And she's a slob. So if y'all didn't vote, about the beds, and you need to go vote about the bed, because I'm disappointed in you. But man, oh man, is she organized and top notch when she needs to. And it's just awesome. And we're just so lucky and blessed. And we appreciate you, Melissa, so much. And
I really meant what I said when I was standing up there, that I do have the best team in the entire company.
And I got one more thing to add. She was able to go back with the professional musician that was there. And she said, I got to see my team. So she passed up that opportunity to come to us. And that's just huge to me, because I think most people wouldn't have. And she did. So thank you for everything you do for us every day.
You're not supposed to be cry tonight. I've got to do manager school. Just did my makeup.
Well, the ones on tonight are going to get a blessing. That's all I can say. It was a phenomenal weekend, from top to bottom, start to finish. And when Russ was talking the other night, and he said, the guy said, what was it? I didn't know I was going to church. And what did the other person say? I can't remember what the lady said.
It was
I
something
thought,
about the baby.
oh yeah, the baby. Yeah, you know, it is. I can't understand how somebody can sit there for 1 hour, 1 day, or 3 days and not feel the heart of the company and know that everything that is going on is for real. There's no politicians in the building, and what a blessing they were missing by thinking it was fake. And so I hope by the time they come back around that they understand that the things they said were just so wrong and out of character. And I hope they learn his heart and our heart and the whole team's heart, because they're missing a blessing by making it negative.
Yeah. They missed the whole picture, and it's very
Right.
sad that somebody did that.
Yeah. And if
Well,
they don't get it, then they're in the wrong place.
yeah, that's right.
You can't be a part of this and not feel loved. There's just no way.
Feel this the sense of belonging, or the sense of community, or the sense of like Tony said, the sense of unity that we have, you know.
And one team, one dream. I mean, that is what every team is striving toward. And we see it, and they've got it in their hearts and in their eyes for them to feel it. So I can't wait to see what everybody else had to say, because I missed it.
Really good. And so we've got Holly on here. She's our adopted sister. Do you have anything that you want to add, Holly? Because I know that it was pretty profound for you this weekend.
God, I've been to a lot of Xyngfest since 2018. I haven't missed one.
That's where I met you. I met you at one of them.
Yep. You met me at XLC.
Yeah, XLC.
And I would say that was the best. I think it's what everybody in the company needed after being for 2 years being away. You know, I mean, I know we had Sing Fest, but this was like just so powerful. The speakers were amazing. Like I put in the chat a while ago, my eyes were flooded with tears when they called your name. I just felt you were going to get it all along, because Shay and I were actually in the back talking, and she goes, I wonder who's going to get it. I said, I think Melissa's going to get it. I think Melissa's going to get it. And then she was sitting there. She goes, I think Melissa's going to get it too. And I was like, I'm telling you. And then they called your name, and I was like, literally tears just flooded my eyes. Just because, and I mean, like, you know, the conversations we've had, and just the role that you have played in my life. I mean, like, there's no words as far as thankfulness I am for you. And not only that, also I was in tears with Deanna and Danielle's. I was in tears a lot this weekend, but with theirs, I literally couldn't get through the whole thing. I was just literally bawling my eyes. Just them talking about community and everything. And I'm very thankful for this one. All of you. So
we love you. And you've always got a place here. You know that.
I do. So I love y'all.
Oh, well, okay.
So
anybody got final thoughts? And we'll just end it. My final thoughts are, I'm so thankful for those of you who were able to come. I'm so thankful for those of you who were able to watch online. And if you haven't watched it, the link is up to go watch it, because you can't, It's not going to have the same kind of feels as being there, but you don't want to miss the content.
Mm-mm.
The content was amazing, and it will change you if you let it. If you whatever you took away, take it and apply it, and don't forget it. Don't just go on without. Let it change you. Let it change you as a leader. Let it change you as a business owner. Let it change you um, as a friend. The link is on. I'll get it to you, Sharon. We'll get it. Well, it was emailed to me. I don't know how I got it, but I got it though, and I'll get it. I'll put it on the page. But anybody else got any final thoughts? All right. Well, love y'all so much. And Curtis Call won the leap sync. That was fantastic. The opening number, you just got to see that. All of them came out in dressed like 80s big haired band and other singers and did a lip sync battle. And Curtis Call came out like Bret Michaels. It was fantastic. And then Russ dressed up like Dolly Parton in a wig and high heel shoes. Hilarious. We've got the greatest corporate staff ever. I can't believe they did that. But I will talk to you guys later. If you guys have a chance, get on manager school. It should be pretty good. We'll see. Love y'all. Bye.